God says, "I'm very tired of trying to talk to you. Something very shocking will happen tonight. You must hear this before the message is gone. Open this now. Something unexpected may unfold within the next 3 days. Don't miss this message tonight. I am calling you to pause before an important truth passes by while you allow yourself to be swept away by familiar noise. I am not speaking to frighten you, nor do I want you to live under the pressure of a clock counting down. I am calling you because you have postponed listening to yourself for far too long. Many times in moments of stillness, you have sensed a gentle reminder that something needed to be reconsidered, a decision needed to be weighed carefully, or a door needed to be closed. Yet work, responsibilities, and endless conversations kept pulling you away. You told yourself that you would think about it tomorrow, that you would pray when you had more time, and that you would face it when you were less tired. Today, I want you to stop moving what matters into a future that never truly arrives. Remain in the stillness long enough to recognize what is asking for your attention. I know you have become so weary that at times you can no longer distinguish between peace and the numbness that follows many days of pressure. You still do what must be done, answer others, and try to keep everything functioning, but deep within, you know that you are no longer living with the same awareness you once had. You have ignored small warning signs, endured unhealthy situations, and repeatedly crossed your own boundaries because you were afraid of disappointing someone. I do not condemn you for becoming tired. I only want you to understand that prolonged exhaustion can cause a person to lose the ability to recognize what is harming them. When you become accustomed to carrying a burden, you may begin to call it responsibility. When you become accustomed to anxiety, you may mistake it for love. When you have endured for too long, you may believe that there are no other choices. That is why I am awakening discernment within you. Perhaps nothing dramatic will happen tonight in the way you imagined, yet something profound can still change. You may finally see a truth that you were once unwilling to admit. A word spoken by someone may help you recognize the true nature of a relationship. A moment of silence may help you understand what you have been running from. An unexpected memory may return and reveal the wound that is still controlling your present decisions. Or you may simply realize that you can no longer continue living in the same way. Do not dismiss such moments. A great turning point does not always arrive with a thunderous sound. Sometimes it comes when you become honest enough to name what has been exhausting you. I want you to enter that awareness calmly, without condemning yourself and without rushing into actions driven by emotion. Recently, you have felt a burden that you could not easily name. You have wondered whether it was a sign that something bad was about to happen, but I do not want you to feed speculations that only bring greater confusion to your heart. That feeling may come from carrying too many responsibilities, lacking proper rest, being caught between conflicting expectations, or living for too long in an environment that keeps you constantly on guard. Listen wisely to your body, your emotions, and your limits. Do not turn every feeling of uneasiness into an omen, but do not ignore what continues to repeat itself. If a place continually steals your peace, ask yourself why you remain there. If someone regularly causes you to question your worth, recognize what is truly happening. If you have been unable to sleep for many days, no longer enjoy what you once loved, or feel yourself becoming depleted, seek appropriate support instead of continuing to suffer alone. I see what you cannot yet see in its fullness, but I do not want you to live by trying to predict the future. The protection I give you is not the ability to know everything that will happen, but the discernment to choose wisely when the unexpected appears. When your heart is at peace, words filled with pressure will not easily control you. When you know your worth, you will not rush through a door simply because you fear being left behind. When you live truthfully, revealed truths will not destroy you. Even if they hurt for a time, I am preparing you through maturity, not fear. I want you to know how to pause before reacting, verify before believing, and ask for help before everything becomes more than you can bear. Some truths you are about to recognize will bring relief, because you will finally understand that you were not imagining as much as others once made you believe. You may realize that your uneasiness had a reason, that the boundaries you wanted to establish were necessary, and that leaving an unhealthy situation does not make you ungrateful. Yet other truths may make you uncomfortable because they reveal your own share of responsibility. Perhaps you have tried to preserve something out of pride, ignored good advice, or used busyness to avoid making necessary changes. I do not bring light into these places to shame you. I want to free you from the need to continually justify yourself. Maturity begins when you can look at your mistakes without allowing those mistakes to become your identity. Do not make hurried decisions while your mind is in turmoil. If think is revealed, take time to observe, verify, and seek counsel from someone trustworthy. I do not lead you through panic. My call may be urgent, but it will still leave you with clarity, self-control, and the ability to reason. Be extremely cautious of anything that pressures you to act immediately because of some vague threat. Anything that requires you to abandon honesty, conceal the truth, or hurt another person in order to protect yourself is not the path I want you to take. Let peace stand as the guardian at the entrance of every decision. Peace does not mean you feel no pain. It means that even in pain, you do not lose your integrity. I am calling you back to the basic things you have neglected. Resting when you are tired, speaking honestly when something needs to be said, establishing boundaries when they are violated, and seeking support when you can no longer stand alone. You do not have to wait for a strange sign before you begin to change. The clearest sign may be the exhaustion that has repeated for too long, the uneasiness that will not disappear, or the feeling that you are becoming increasingly unfamiliar to yourself. Consider this an invitation to rearrange your life. You may need to leave a hurtful conversation, adjust your schedule, apologize to someone, seek professional assistance, or stop returning to a place that has repeatedly proven itself unsafe. These very ordinary steps may be the means I use to lead you out of confusion, my child. Do not fear what is brought into the light. Truth may shake what was built upon deception, but it will not destroy what genuinely belongs to you. If a relationship survives only because you remain silent about what is wrong, truth will show you its real value. If a plan can move forward only at the cost of your peace, its interruption may be a form of protection. If an image you have tried to preserve before others prevents you from being honest about your exhaustion, allow that image to be laid down. I am not calling you to protect everything. I am calling you to protect what is good, upright, and capable of nourishing life within you. Tonight, give yourself a period of quiet. Put down your phone, breathe slowly, and write down what you already know, but have continued to avoid. Do not try to do everything at once. Simply choose the most honest step you can take. Perhaps it is admitting that you need rest. Perhaps it is telling someone that the way they treated you caused pain. Perhaps it is abandoning a decision that was born from fear. Perhaps it is simply praying, "Father, help me to see clearly and give me the courage to do what is right." I do not require you to possess the entire map. I only ask that you stop walking blindly when light has already been given. I do not grow tired of loving you, nor am I disappointed because you have ignored my reminders many times. I remain patient, but I want you to mature to the point where you no longer need to wait until every begin to listen. Consider tonight an opportunity to return, not a threat. What changes everything may not be something happening around you, but a decision formed within you. From this moment forward, you will no longer betray your peace in order to preserve what is no longer healthy. When that decision is carried out through practical actions, you will begin to see many things shift. What needs to leave will gradually become clear. What is worth preserving will be strengthened. And you will enter tomorrow, not with fear but with a heart that is awake, steady, and ready for me to lead. The change you have silently prayed for is drawing near, but it may begin with a disruption that requires you to leave what is familiar and view everything with more awakened eyes. I have heard even the words you never spoke aloud. I know that you still long for a door to open, a knot to be untied, and a prolonged situation finally to change direction. There have been days when you barely dared to hope because every expectation made you fear another disappointment. Yet in the deepest place within you, you still long to enter a life that is lighter, more truthful, and no longer held back by what belongs to the past. I want you to understand that the change you prayed for will not always arrive in a comfortable form. Sometimes it comes by shaking a sense of security that existed only because you had grown accustomed to enduring. Sometimes it begins with a painful truth, but that very truth becomes the way out you have been seeking for so long. You often think that a breakthrough must immediately make you feel joyful, but sometimes the first thing it brings is confusion. When a covering is removed, you may realize that what you once protected was never protecting you, that the person you trusted did not truly value you, or that the path you are trying to preserve no longer leads where you need to go. That awareness may shake your heart, but do not immediately call everything uncomfortable a disaster. Some disturbances do not come to destroy, but to awaken. They compel you to stop living on instinct, stop justifying what has repeatedly wounded you, and face the boundaries that need to be established. I do not want you to live in suspicion or invent things that have not happened. I want you to be calm enough to observe, honest enough to admit what you see, and wise enough not to react before understanding the whole situation. I have watched you carry burdens day after day while pretending that nothing was wrong. You learned how to smile when your heart felt empty and how to say that you were fine when all you wanted was to rest. You feared that if you admitted your exhaustion, others would consider you weak or incapable. So you continued taking on more responsibility, continued being available for everyone, and quietly postponed caring for yourself. But my child, strength is not found in hiding every wound. Strength is found in daring to admit that you have reached your limit, seeking support, and changing a way of life that has left you increasingly depleted. I do not want you to enter a new season carrying the same habits that exhausted you in the old one. If you desire a different life, you must also be willing to create a different rhythm of living. I know the thoughts that come to you at night when no one else is near. You replay conversations, analyze every look, and wonder whether you did something wrong. You imagine countless possibilities and exhaust yourself with questions that have no answers. At times you feel lost, even though outwardly you continue fulfilling every responsibility. I do not blame you for those moments. I only want you to stop carrying alone everything that is happening in your mind. Bring it into the light through honest prayer, through words written on a page, or through conversation with someone wise and trustworthy. What remains hidden in silence often becomes larger than it really is. Once it is named correctly, it will no longer control you so easily. You do not have to solve your entire future in one night. You only need to see the nearest step clearly and choose what preserves your integrity. There is a situation around you that has not yet been fully revealed. It may involve a decision being prepared, a relationship in which the whole truth has not been spoken, or an issue you have sensed without having enough evidence to reach a conclusion. I want you to be cautious but not afraid. Do not accuse someone merely because you feel uneasy, but do not ignore repeated warning signs. Simply because you fear losing what is familiar, observe actions instead of listening only to promises. Verify what you hear instead of allowing rumors to guide you. If a conversation is necessary, enter it calmly, without carrying a conclusion beforehand, and without surrendering your right to ask questions. Truth does not need you to shout in order to become clear. It often reveals itself through consistency, over time, and through results that no explanation can conceal forever. When what is unclear is brought into the light, you may be surprised that it is different from what you imagine. Some truths will bring relief because you will finally understand that your concerns were not entirely without foundation. But other truths will require you to examine your own responsibility. Perhaps you ignored a warning, held on to something because you feared being alone, or remained on a path because you did not want to admit that you had chosen wrongly. Do not allow shame to make you continue hiding. A mistake is not the end when you are willing to correct it. I do not expose anything to humiliate you. I bring light so that you no longer have to live under the power of what is hidden. When you face truth with humility, it becomes a doorway into freedom rather than a sentence that keeps you trapped in guilt. Remember that no change requires you to abandon discernment. If tonight you hear words, receive news, or encounter a situation that produces strong emotions, give yourself time to breathe before deciding. Do not sign end or announce something important simply because emotions are rising. Listen, take note, and wait until your mind becomes calm again. What belongs to wisdom does not fear examination. A sincere person will not force you to choose immediately through threats or guilt. A good opportunity does not require you to surrender your dignity in order to keep it. Let peace, truth, and long-term results together confirm your next step. I am not calling you to become passive, but neither do I want you to react impulsively and then spend a long time repairing the consequences. What is revealed may change a relationship, alter a plan, or shatter an image you once held in your heart. Allow yourself to grieve if it hurts. You do not need to deny your emotions in order to prove that you have faith, but do not make sorrow your home. Ask what this situation is teaching you, which boundaries need to be established, and what I am helping you see more clearly. Some things leave your life not because you have failed, but because they cannot accompany you into a new season of maturity. Some plans must change so that you do not continue moving toward a direction that brings only exhaustion. Some people need to be seen as they truly are, instead of as the person you hoped they would become. What I am preparing is not merely an outward change, but a transformation in the way you respond to life. In the past, you may have remained silent because you feared conflict, allowed others to cross your boundaries because you feared abandonment, or accepted responsibility that did not belong to you. In order to keep everything calm, but calmness, built upon continually betraying yourself, is not true peace. I want you to learn how to speak clearly without cruelty, leave without revenge, and protect yourself without becoming bitter. You do not need to fight until everyone understands you. You only need to live consistently with the truth, keep your heart pure, and refuse to return to situations that have repeatedly proven themselves unhealthy. Therefore, do not be afraid. If tonight you recognize something that causes you to reconsider everything, view it as an opportunity to step out of uncertainty. I did not bring you this far so that you could continue closing your eyes to what needs to be seen. I am with you when the truth brings relief, and I am also with you when it causes pain. I will give you enough calmness not to act in panic, enough courage to correct what must be corrected, and enough gentleness not to condemn yourself. Be still, listen, verify, and ask for discernment. What truly belongs to you will not be destroyed by truth. It will become stronger. What needs to leave will reveal why you should no longer hold on to it. And from that awareness, you will emerge from tonight, not afraid of what happened, but mature enough to build a tomorrow that is more peaceful, clear, and free. When what was once hidden begins to appear, do not allow fear to direct your response. Stand still, keep your heart clear, and remember that I remain beside you through every moment you cannot yet fully understand. Some disruptions appear not to cast you down, but to move you away from a direction that has quietly harmed you. What shakes you today may be what protects you from greater pain tomorrow. Therefore, do not immediately call every change a loss, and do not treat the first feeling of uneasiness as proof that you are about to be abandoned. Sometimes the old peace was only an outward covering over a reality that was no longer healthy. I allow that covering to be removed so that you will no longer live among things that appear stable while gradually draining you. I know that in the past you sensed that something was wrong, but then convinced yourself that you were overthinking. You ignored repeated signs, minimized your feelings, and allowed the words of others to make you question your own ability to discern. At times you remained silent simply to avoid conflict, even while your inner peace continually disappeared. At times, you stayed in a situation that was no longer suitable because you feared beginning again. I do not condemn you for those moments, because I know that you were trying to preserve everything in the only way you understood. But today I want you to grow in discernment. Respect what you feel, but do not turn a feeling into an immediate conclusion. Observe, verify, and ask for wisdom. Intuition may be a reminder to pay attention, but truth must be confirmed through actions, consistency, and visible results. When a conversation unsettles your heart, do not immediately respond with anger or panic. Let the other person finish speaking. Then listen both to their words and to what is revealed through the way they live. A person may use many beautiful words, but their truth is usually seen in what they repeatedly do. Do not look only at promises. Observe whether they are willing to accept responsibility. Do not listen only to an apology. See whether they change the way they treat you. At the same time, examine your own response. What causes you to withdraw immediately? What makes you want to fight, even before you understand the whole situation? is the present circumstance, touching an old wound and causing you to see everything through the memory of past pain. I want you to distinguish between what is actually happening and what the past is causing you to fear will happen again. Do not allow anyone to shame you because you need time to think. Someone who respects you will not pressure you to decide while your mind is confused. What is good does not need threats, guilt, or time. Pressure to force your agreement. If an offer requires you to abandon honesty, conceal something important, or exchange your dignity in order to keep it, step back. If a relationship remains peaceful, only when you stay silent and surrender. Every boundary, it is not the harmony I desire for you. You have the right to ask questions, request more time, and leave what repeatedly makes you feel small. Yet do these things calmly, without bitter words, and without turning self-protection into an excuse to hurt others. There is a blessing hidden within this clarity, even if at first you see only disruption. When what no longer fits is removed from your life, the empty space may confuse you. You may miss what was familiar, even when that very familiarity exhausted you. But emptiness is not always punishment. Often it is the space required for something healthier to enter. A new door cannot open widely while you continue standing in front of the old entrance. A healthy relationship cannot be built while your heart remains bound to an attachment that causes you to lose direction. A new path cannot take shape while you spend all your strength trying to save something that has repeatedly proven it no longer gives life. I am bringing you to a better place, but renewal first requires you to see clearly what no longer belongs in your journey. It may be a habit that causes you to delay everything important. It may be an environment that constantly makes you question your worth. It may be the need for everyone's approval, which prevents you from living truthfully. It may also be that what needs to leave is not a person or a place, but an old version of yourself, the one who always accepts blame for others, believes suffering is required in order to be loved, and fears that establishing boundaries will make everyone leave. I want you to release those beliefs. They may have helped you survive one season, but they cannot lead you into the maturity that is coming tonight. Be fully present, instead of escaping into things that help you temporarily forget what you feel. Do not use noise, work, or constantly glowing screens to avoid the conversation you need to have with yourself. Sit still and name what you are feeling. Are you sad, disappointed, angry, or afraid of losing something familiar? Be honest without condemning yourself. Emotions are not enemies. They are signals showing you where something within you needs to be heard. But emotions are also not masters permitted to determine every action. Allow them to speak, then pass them through discernment before you choose. I do not want you to deny what you feel, nor do I want you to hand over all control to one emotional moment. Pay attention to the conversations taking place around you, but do not search for hidden meaning in every sentence or glance. What I give you is awareness, not suspicion toward everyone. Look at clear patterns repeated and the lasting effect they have upon your life. A single misunderstanding may be resolved through communication. An honest mistake may be corrected through responsibility. But if a behavior continues, even after you have spoken clearly, you must stop calling it accidental. Discernment does not make you bitter. It helps you understand what needs forgiveness, what requires correction, and what must be placed outside your boundaries. I also want you to notice how your body responds in different situations. There are places where you always become tense, meetings that leave you exhausted, and words that require many days before you recover your peace. Do not dismiss these reactions, but examine them wisely. You may be facing an unhealthy environment, or an old wound may still need proper care. In either case, you do not have to solve everything alone. Seek someone trustworthy, someone experienced, or professional assistance if what you are carrying has become more than you can bear. I may lead you through prayer, but I may also help you through people who are equipped to walk beside you. When truth appears, do not immediately use it for retaliation. Truth is given to set you free, not to become a weapon in your hands. You do not need to expose everything before a crowd or humiliate someone to prove that you were right. Some matters need to be addressed privately. Some must be brought before someone with responsibility. Other situations require only that you quietly leave. Ask what will protect the peace, safety, and dignity of everyone involved. You can be strong without cruelty, clear without insult, and decisive without hatred. That is how you leave the old behind without carrying its poison into the new chapter. My child, what is shifting is not intended to steal your future, but to return you to the right direction. You may not yet understand why a door closes, a person reveals something you did not expect, or a plan must change. Allow time to bring clarity to what you cannot yet see. Do not try to keep everything unchanged, merely because you fear emptiness. If something truly belongs to you, truth will make it stronger. If it exists only through concealment, silence, and one-sided sacrifice, then its instability is necessary. I do not want you to preserve a life that appears peaceful on the outside, while remaining anxious within. I want to lead you to a place where peace does not have to be purchased by losing yourself. Therefore, move through tonight with awareness. Listen without panic, observe without rushing to judgment, and trust without surrendering your ability to reason. When you need to speak, speak truthfully. When you need to wait, wait in peace. When you need to leave, leave with dignity. I will remain beside you both in moments of clarity and in times when everything still feels uncertain. What is opening may unsettle you for a short while, but it may also become the doorway out of a season that has exhausted you for far too long. Do not hide from the light, merely because it reveals something difficult to see. Allow that light to show you what must remain, what needs healing, and what it is time to release. When you walk with discernment, peace, and courage, upheaval will no longer possess the power to destroy you, but will become a redirection that brings you closer to the truthful life I have always desired for you. Do not measure your growth only by outward achievements. Look at how you have changed within. You no longer believe every promise so easily. You know how to observe actions instead of listening only to words. You understand that forgiveness does not mean restoring the same access as before. You recognize that love does not require you to lose yourself. You know that remaining loyal to what is right may sometimes require walking alone for a season. These understandings did not come from books. They were formed through what you endured and overcame. I am working in many ways that you cannot yet see. Paths are being rearranged. Conversations are gradually bringing truth into the light, and matters that once confused. You are approaching a time when they will become clearer. But do not sit and wait for a dramatic sign before you begin living differently. Begin through the way you respond today. When you choose not to answer in anger, you are opening a path for peace. When you stop making excuses for something that has repeatedly caused harm, you are stepping out of an old cycle. When you seek support instead of continuing to suffer, You are cooperating with healing. You are no longer the person you were in former days. Although you may still feel fragile at times, a stronger foundation has been formed within you. You have learned how to rise without needing anyone to witness it. You have learned how to preserve hope on days when there were no visible signs. You have understood that your worth does not disappear merely because someone fails to recognize it. Tonight, if something is revealed or a powerful emotion appears, remember the journey you have already traveled. You are not entering this moment empty-handed. You carry experience, discernment, and courage that have been refined through many difficult seasons. I will remain with you in every decision when you need silence. I will help you resist being drawn into arguments. When you need to speak, I will give you clarity so that you do not use words to wound. When you need to leave, I will help you walk away without returning because of fear. When you need to remain and repair what can be restored, I will give you patience to do so sincerely. You do not need to know the entire outcome tonight. You only need to continue choosing what is most upright in each moment. Trust that what is happening cannot erase everything you have built within yourself. Uncertainty may cause you to tremble, but it does not have to make you collapse. A difficult truth may hurt, but it may also free you from years of living in doubt. A closed door may bring sadness, but it may also lead you back to yourself. I do not promise that everything will be easy, but I promise that you will not walk through it without support. Therefore, walk slowly, look clearly, and do not fear what you are about to understand. The maturity already within you will speak at the right time. You will not react in the old way because you are no longer the person you once were. What once shattered you can now only cause you to pause, reflect, and choose more wisely. Let tonight become the moment when you realize that true strength is not found in avoiding every disruption, but in moving through disruption while preserving peace, dignity, and trust. I am beside you, and every step you take from this moment forward will reveal that you have grown far more than you ever realized.